What's up, YouTube? This is No Narc Sense back again with another video, taking a look at, oh my goodness, Trump is at it again. This is the second time in the same week that Trump is at it with someone of African American descent, and he's cutting him down and showing his narcissism. This time it's Governor Wes Moore of Maryland, and not the Obamas, but oh my goodness, what are we going to do? So Trump has reportedly uninvited the only black governor in the United States from the governor's dinner. Trump said, I ain't feeding you this week. Don't come around here looking for any food because you won't get in. Oh my goodness, Donald Trump. Now, people are going to try to argue politics, but come on, let's be real. This is not about politics. This is about policy. This lines up with a narcissistic pattern that we've seen over and over again. Let me give you 3 reasons why. And then I'm going to give you 3 more reasons, or rather, solutions and resolutions if you get uninvited to the party by a narcissist. Okay, reason number 1. Narcissists are well known to punish people who don't center them. What do I mean by that? A narcissist doesn't just care about titles, roles, or norms at all. They care about loyalty and submission. If you don't praise them correctly, defend them loudly, or fall in line publicly, you're not just going to be ignored. You're going to be punished. Punished. Put across the proverbial knee and punished. Publicly, even better. Uninviting someone from a public symbolic event is a power move. It says, I decide who belongs here and you don't. So says me. And when that person is the only black governor in the country at the time, the message hits even harder. Even if the narcissist claims that it's not about race, it's all about political ideology, and we differ very strongly on those things. Reason number 2. Exclusion or exclusivity is how superiority gets signaled. You see, it's not about yelling superiority loudly out wherever or even behind closed doors. Signaling superiority is, far more superior. And so narcissistic superiority isn't always loud insults. Sometimes it's quiet exclusion. The door gets closed very quietly, right? Not inviting someone says that you're not on my level. You don't deserve access, and I control the room. And don't you forget it. Historically, racial power in America has always been enforced this way. It's not always with slurs. Exclusion isn't accidental, but it is done with closed doors to access. It's how dominance gets reinforced without having to explain anything. Again, our political ideologies are just different. That's all. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. Reason number 3 is because the backlash feeds the ego. Of course, there has to be something that strokes the ego of the narcissist when they take actions like this. What else would it be? The public outcry feeds the ego of a narcissistic personality. And here's the part that people miss. Narcissists expect backlash, and they use it. Criticism becomes, they're obsessed with me. They're playing the race card again. Look at how much power I have and control over them. Instead of reflecting, the controversy confirms importance. And that's what it's all about in the world of a narcissist. Now, what would you do, or rather, what's the best way to handle being uninvited if this were happening to you? One very important thing to remember is never, ever, ever chase inclusion. That, my friend, is the trap. It's the ultimate trap, in fact. And so, narcissistic exclusion, right, is designed to make you prove that you belong. You know that you belong. This is not something that you have to prove to anyone. And so the dignified move is never scramble for a seat that you're being denied. Why? Because that centers the narcissist, and you're about decentering narcissistic behavior. It also validates their power, and last but not least, it quietly says that they get to decide your worth. That's never the message that you want to send to anybody, whether they're narcissistic or not, right? So, dignity comes from acting like your value was never up for debate. Number 2, you want to name the behavior and not the insult. Don't trivialize what's happening by naming the insult. Keep it big, keep it broad. Name the behavior. That's how you fight back against this. Don't personalize it. Instead of, this is about me, this is about, me not being invited, this is something about me that's not acceptable, reframe it. This is a pattern of control and exclusion. We know that narcissistic people are all about control. And exclusion is just one of the many pathways that they will take or employ in order to show control. So reframe it into this being a pattern of control and exclusion. And that's the lens through which you want people to see it. That mental shift really matters, though, because it keeps your identity intact and it puts the spotlight back on their conduct and not your value, okay? If you speak publicly about it at all, you want to keep it clean and factual, okay? Calm language drains narcissistic power. Remember that. Next, this is very important, and I want you to really, really dig into this one, okay? You want to respond to this behavior one time and one time only, or, and this is my favorite way to do it, not at all. Not at all, okay? But if you do respond to it, only do it once. See, remember, narcissistic people thrive on emotional loops. A dignified response to a behavior like this is brief, it's very measured, it's non-defensive, right? Or, and like I said, I love this idea, complete silence. If speaking only feeds the spectacle, right? Remember, your goal is not to win, isn't to win the moment. It's to deny them emotional supply. Your goal is not to win the moment. It's only to deny them emotional supply. And if by not speaking about it at all, you achieve that, perfect. Go on happily about your business as if nothing ever happened. They'll be wondering why you didn't respond, and that will eat them up far more than anything else, even if you only respond once. I really believe that in the case with Governor Wes Moore of Maryland, that would be probably the best course of action to take around this, right? Simply not responding. You're already uninvited. So now what you want to do is you want to focus on what you can do for the citizens of the state of Maryland, right? In order to empower them, in order to get more done for those citizens. This is one less event. This clears your schedule, right? And gives you back some time on which, you could be working on some other things or even spending more time with your family, okay? That's fine. That's perfect. And I think that that would be the best way to handle it. People are people. And if at this governor's dinner that Wes Moore was uninvited to, people look around and they don't see him, right? Naturally, him being the only black governor in the United States of America who's not present at this major function is going to raise some antennas, right? And people are going to ask. There are enough decent people, enough other decent governors, right, and attendees to this type of event that somebody would say, hey, where's Wes Moore, right? Just so happens that he's the only black governor in the United States of America, right? But not for that reason. Just, hey, where's Wes Moore? Where's the governor of the state of Maryland? He's not here. Is he sick? Is he okay? Is a family member sick or unwell? Right? People begin to ask questions. All right, and sooner or later, I'm sure that a question or two would come across one of the staffers, right, possibly of the White House, who might have to answer to that, right? Oh, well, I don't know. Was he even invited? Really? And so the conversation that would come out of that would possibly and likely be absolutely more than enough to kind of check a situation like this, right? And so those types of rumblings back behind the scenes, they actually matter. They mean a lot. Wes Moore gets to keep his dignity. He's not crying out about this at all, right? He gets to keep his dignity. He gets to validate himself, right? And again, like I said, to refocus on his own life and things that he needs to do. Governors tend to be very busy people. So I'm sure he has something else that he could be doing other than attending the governor's dinner. I think it would have been better for Wes Moore to come out with a statement at some point, maybe next week sometime, of something that he did instead of attending the governor's dinner that he was uninvited from. That would have been perfect. And he has been uninvited officially, so I guess he can still do it. If you know somebody, tell him I said that's what he should do. You can always turn narcissism back in on itself. It's weak behavior. Remember that. And you must always show up with dignity and strength. And so, as always, this is No Narc telling you to beware and be aware. As a survivor of years and years of narcissistic abuse from the inside, I would admonish you to like, share, and subscribe, and definitely comment down below. And please stick around and check out some of my takes on other issues related to, concerning, or pertaining to narcissism and how you too can overcome and thrive no matter what.